Atlas Fallen? Is it worth a buy? Let's read the words of the developer. Rise from the dust and glide the sands of a timeless land filled with ancient dangers, mysteries and fragments of the past. Hunt legendary monsters with powerful sand-infused weapons and abilities in spectacular, super-powered combat. First up, guys, the graphical options. There's a few things to twiddle and tweak to get the best out of this game for whatever rig that you've got. Ran fine for me on my 2080. It doesn't look that good. I had to turn a few things off because the graphics looked absolutely awful on the default settings. So yeah, it's not a nice looking game in my opinion. Anyway, it looks very, very ancient considering the price of this as well. I mean, it's £44 pretty much. That's a lot of money. That's almost AAA price, and it looks like a dog's dinner, really. But how does it play? Graphics don't make a game, and that's the beauty of games. Graphics don't make a game where you can have graphics that just don't look that good, but the game itself is brilliant to play and is really, really good fun. So is Atlas Fallen? No, it's not, guys. No, it's not. It actually plays worse than it looks. This game is banter wank, guys. It's just garbage. It's rubbish. I can't bring myself to play it another minute, and I've only played it for about an hour and a half. It's that fucking bad. I didn't have high hopes for it when I saw the combat. I'll come to that in a second, but let's start with the story and the writing. You are an unnamed nobody, guys, and you pick up this gauntlet, and yeah, it's another one of them. It's Forspoken. You pick up a gauntlet, you put it on, the gauntlet talks to you, gives you these superpowers where you can glide on the sand. You know, it's a bit like a snowboarding. It turns into a snowboarding game as you go down the sands to travel, which was quite fun, actually. Gotta admit, that was quite fun. And it also allows you to wield different weapons as well. But the story itself is crap. The writing is awful and the voiceovers are worse than all of it.
What? No, the guards are... they're vicious. I don't want to be thrown out.
Tracker and I were thinking we should meet at the campfire, just to talk about what happened. Together.
Oh, no way. They'll throw you out.
The voiceovers are just terrible. It's just, you know, coming from Baldur's Gate 3 to this, you can see the difference is just night and day. Like, it's and they're the same price game pretty much. There's only like £5 difference pretty much in the price of this and Baldur's Gate. And when you look at that and look at this is why a lot of developers are shitting themselves because of Baldur's Gate, because that's where the bar is. This falls massively short of that. Poor writing, poor voiceovers, poor graphics, poor story. It's just crap. The combat itself is worse than all of that. So imagine all of that I've just said, but with worse combat. Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'd hasten to say that the combat in this is worse than Forspoken, and that's fucking saying something. I mean, I don't know what kind of planet the developers are on when they think that we want to... I mean, I'm sure some people will love the combat. It's clunky, so yeah, they'll probably like that. But you leap into the air, guys, and you... You press the dodge key and you just stay in. As long as you're hitting shit in the air, you'll stay just floating in the air, smacking things with the twirly-whirly hammer, which the more things you hit with it, the bigger it fucking gets. I mean, what the fuck? There's different combos of twirliness between your left and your right mouse button. You've got other keys bound to specific attacks that it'll do, where it'll get even bigger and turns into a giant 50-foot long fucking hammer and smacks things. Absolute bollocks it is. Absolute bollocks. I really would love to interview the gamer who would sit down and say, Mac, this is great. This is great. Look at this combat. And then, look, watch back. It'll glow red, a big red flash. Whoosh, there it goes. And when that happens, you press sand skin and and you turn it into a statue for a few seconds. And then you spam it. And then it comes out of the statue and then it goes and does another red telegraphed attack. Whee! And you hit the sand skin and it turns into stone and you spam. Oh, off, please. Rolling around the floor like a complete dillock while you're spamming these shitty attacks and shitty combos and jumping in the air and dashing in the air and letting your weapon get big and hard. I mean, f*** off. The world itself is just a barren desert out there. It just is. There's just nothing to see. You just skate around from mission to mission, and you're told where everything is. You know, oh, there's a power crystal nearby. See that glowing thing over there? There it is. Oh, God. It's got co-op. It's got co-op. It's always telling me the game that it's got co-op. Oh, play with a friend. It's challenging alone, you know, Mac. You should play with a friend. Okay, how do I do matchmaking then? Yeah, you can't. There's no matchmaking. You've got to rely on friends actually having the game and then you invite them. Well, no one has the game because it's shite. So there you go, guys. This is utter bilge. It's got no redeeming features other than skating down a hill. Which an action RPG adventure where the only good thing is snowboarding down a sand slope. Okay. Well done. Yeah, there it is, guys. There's some people out there say, oh, Mac, you can't review a game unless you played it for at least 15 hours or even completed it. How can you possibly review a game? Well, Atlas Fallen, like Forspoken before it and many others, are living proof that you fucking can. Because they're so fucking awful in pretty much every department that you'd have to be some kind of prick to not be able to... Do you know, I knew after 15 minutes of this game, you just need to taste it. You know, it's just awful. It's just awful. It's full of combo-ridden spam kind of attack moves that don't really make any sense. It's clunky as. It really is clunky when you're trying to do stuff. Every time the glove talks to you, it freezes you in place. You're sitting motionless, listening to this absolutely awful, boring voiceover talking bollocks about a story that's shite. And even when you're free to talk to people, the actual options that you get for chat are very, very limited and totally predictable as well. It does nothing well at all. The RPG stuff shit, the combat shit, the graphics look shit, the desert shit. Apart from one thing, like I said, it's good for skating. If you like skating on sand, then be my guest and shell out 45 quid for this. I'm assuming that it gets better though after 18 hours. Yeah, they always get better after 18 hours, so there you go.
Wake up! Wake up! Come on. Come on! Oh, shit! I mean, thank Thelos. You're still alive.
He was trying to steal the gauntlet. End him!